In the previous video, we've looked at what anxiety actually is and why your body reacts the way it does. Today, we're going to explore what keeps anxiety going over time, the fear of anxiety itself, and what people mean when they talk about sensitized nerves. For a long time, I believed anxiety was my core problem. I thought the sensations, the thoughts, and the constant discomfort were the things that needed to be fixed before I could live normally again. But over time, I discovered something crucial. Anxiety was not the main issue. My relationship with anxiety was. When anxiety first enters someone's life, it rarely does so gently. It often comes as a shock. The sensations feel intense, unfamiliar, and overwhelming. They can feel so strong that it feels impossible to ignore them. Naturally, your attention turns inward. You start monitoring your body closely. You become aware of your breathing, your heart rate, your thoughts, and your emotional state. All of which can feel chaotic, intense, and completely out of control. You begin checking how you feel throughout the day, often without realizing how constant this monitoring has become. This is a survival response. Your system is trying to keep you safe. But over time, this constant self-monitoring creates a serious problem. First, because the anxiety response, the fight or flight response, was never designed to stay switched on for days, weeks, months, or even years or decades. When it does, the nervous system becomes physically and emotionally drained. It becomes depleted, worn out, and exhausted. Being in a constant state of alert, tension, and anticipation drains emotional reserves. Over time, the system loses its resilience and its ability to regulate itself properly. The moment you begin to fear the anxiety sensation themselves, a process often referred as fear of fear begins to set in. This reaction is completely understandable, but it leads in the wrong direction. Anxiety sensations are uncomfortable, invasive, and relentless. They can dominate attention, disrupt sleep, and consume someone's entire life. When this continues for long enough, the nervous system becomes deeply depleted. Not because anxiety is dangerous, but because your reaction to it signals threat. Each time the anxiety appears and is met with urgency, resistance, or emotional struggle, the nervous system receives confirmation that something is wrong and it adapts accordingly. It becomes more depleted, more emotionally drained, more reactive, and more easily triggered. This is what meant by sensitized nerves. Sensitized nerves does not mean damaged nerves. They do not mean a broken brain or a faulty body. They describe a nervous system that has been under prolonged, repeated stress and emotional strain and has become excessively and responsive as a result. The threshold for danger drops, reactions becomes faster, and once activated, the system struggles to shut itself down. Because the system is emotionally exhausted, it begins to misfire. It goes off too easily, too intensely, and too often. This is not a malfunction, it is a nervous system doing exactly what it's designed to do, but in the wrong context and under continuous strain. Every time anxiety arises and you think, I need this to stop, what if it gets worse, or this shouldn't be happening, your nervous system interprets that response as a proof of danger. As a result, stress chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol are released again and again, not because there is real danger, but because the system has learned to stay on guard. This is why anxiety can feel constant, intrusive, and completely exhausted. Not because the danger is real, but because the alarm keeps being reinforced in an already depleted system. At a certain point, people reach complete exhaustion, physically, mentally, and emotionally. For many, this coincides with diagnoses such as generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, or severe OCD. Even after trying countless techniques, strategies, and mantras, the anxiety remains sometimes at intensities that feels unbearable, sometimes day in and out, without relief. It is exhausting to constantly try to control your thoughts, exhausting to manage symptoms, exhausting to keep searching for the next solution. And here is where the important shift begins. Research and real recovery experience point to a difficult truth. The way forward is not found in trying to change how you feel, not because the feelings are desirable and not because hope is lost, but because there is nothing left to fight with. When the fight stops, anxiety does not disappear immediately. The sensations remain, the thoughts still come and go, but something changes. The struggle around them begins to loosen. Urgency decreases, resistance softens, and the constant internal pressure to fix, escape what you feel slowly fades. In that space, the nervous system begins to recover from its exhaustion. Not instantly, not dramatically, but gradually. And this is the essential point. Recovery is not about eliminating anxiety. It is about removing the fear of anxiety itself. When anxiety is no longer treated as an emergency, the nervous system no longer needs to stay locked into survival mode. Over time, and through repeated experience of allowing anxiety to be present, reacting to it as a threat, the system recalibrates. Sensitivity diminishes, reaction softens, and anxiety slowly loses its grip. In the next video, we will explore a closely related topic: why fighting anxiety keeps it alive and what actually happens when the struggle finally stops.